Well, shout out to Howard Stern with that one. Let's turn on Instagram. Real fast. We'll get that up and running. Okay. And big thank you to all the sponsors, to everybody, Kenzies Optics, Taurus USA, Crossbreed Holsters, and of course, Riton Optics. Big thank you to all of them. Appreciate them. Appreciate their support. Head over to the website if you get an opportunity. Ooh, we got Savage Cerakote in the house. We might be able to get an update on Signgate. We might be able to get an update on Signgate. Is there an update available on Signgate? Do we have data? Everybody wants an update on the bounty. This is big, so we might be able to get an update. You might have to come live. We need an update on the bounty. There has been a bounty. The criminal is still on the loose. $500. Do you want to give a live update? You want to give a really fast live update? Everybody go bananas. Come on. Come on. You know you want to. Come on, I got people filing in here. You know you want to do it. You might be able to get an update on the bounty. Sitting in my skivvies relaxing. Derek, this is big. You haven't been in here to give an update on Bountygate. All right, if he's not going to share, I'm going to share the story without his input. You know why? Because the people deserve to know. So, not long ago in New Jersey, I can't take that call right now. Not long ago in New Jersey, Derek had a sign stolen. He had a sign stolen out of his shop. He has a video of it, but it's too grainy and too crappy. He's willing to come in. Let's get an update on this. Let's get an update on the bounty. I'm not doing a big episode. Perfect. I'm not doing a big episode today, so we may as well get an update on the bounty.
Listen, I'm home relaxing, watching the Devils game. My pops stopped by.
Yeah.
You remember Pops?
So give a fast update. Everybody wants to know. Give a fast update on the bounty.
The criminal is still on the loose. The woman is at large. We still have a $500 bounty on her head, leading to the arrest of the woman that stole my lawn sign.
All I can think about is in Slapshot when he goes, "You can't put a bounty on somebody."
Yeah, absolutely. But, we still didn't see her. We probably will never see her, and it is what it is,
If you haven't seen the movie Slapshot, in honor of you watching The Devils tonight, you have to check that movie out. It makes me...
What's it called?
Slapshot.
Slapshot? Oh, look.
With Paul Newman. You've never seen Slapshot with Paul Newman?
No.
You've never seen Slapshot?
Nope.
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play the scene for people in the background here. Let's see if I can get. I can get this. Get this up and running, and you can hear it, Derek.
You're always good.
Listen to this. This is you. I'm gonna send you the clip after.
Oh my God! Is this like another run deal?
Right.
Are you nuts? Bullshit. A bounty. We could all land in the clinker for this.
Oh, big deal, Joe.
You can't put a bounty on a man's head.
I just did.
That's good. That's
I'm
good.
gonna pull that clip.
Send me that clip. That's awesome.
No, I'm gonna post that because that supersedes the Kessel run. Actually,
listen, the Kessel Run is real, and when you're still ready to take on that bet, you let me know.
so
I'll stop and pick up Noah on the way.
listen, I'm going to let you go have fun with Dad and watch the game. But thank you for the update on the bounty.
Sounds
I appreciate it.
No problem.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, be good.
Bye. So there you have it. Savage Cerakote with an update on the bounty. So the story behind the Kessel Run is Derek once bet me that he could make a run from New Jersey to NRA in Georgia in some ridiculous number like 10 hours or 9 hours. And John was in on this from BCG Media, so it got so out of control. There was money involved, and people who followed me for a long time had seen this. We could never confirm the times. It was less than 12 hours. We never could confirm the times or iron out the bet. So the bet never came to fruition, but we had a loose bet out there. He was close, but I don't believe it was 12 hours. Because you would have had been driving a fucking time machine. And it got out of control, and for a while there was stuff flying back and forth, but it was a lot of fun. So we thank Derek for an update on the bounty and on his sign. It's a big deal. So, appreciate it. Really do. It's awesome. I think it goes without saying that, it's one of those things when someone steals a sign, what goes through somebody's head? We've talked about this before, but what goes through somebody's head when they steal a sign to someone's store and do that? So my hat's off to Derek, fighting the good fight. It's really good to see somebody in New Jersey fighting that battle. It just blows my mind. We can't confirm the 11 and a half hours, so we're not going to validate the Kessel Run. We can't validate that it was under 12 parsecs. We can't. We can't, Devin. We're not going to endorse it. It's not an endorsed claim. We can't verify it. So anyway, moving on. Moving on. We're not going to stay there. So I got a few questions. I want to answer a few questions. Like I said, I'm not going to stay on long. I went on a crazy long rant the other day. We'll give some stuff away. I still have the Gargoyles glasses. Listen, I don't doubt that it's true. We just can't validate it. We can't validate the Kessel Run. When you tell me you're going to drive from New Jersey to Georgia to NRA in 12 hours, I need timestamps. If I can't validate this run, okay, so the bet on the table was New Jersey from Derek's doorstep, which we won't get into specifics. So you want to do New Jersey to Miami in 12 hours. That won't happen. The original bet was New Jersey to Atlanta. And you would have had to been driving a fucking DeLorean. A DeLorean. We'll figure it out. Florida border in 12 hours. So New Jersey to Florida border in 12 hours. Let me just look it up for the sake of looking it up on a damn map to see how nuts this is. So, New Jersey to Florida border. New Jersey to Florida border. It's far. To Daytona. Let's see. I'm not saying it's not possible. Anything's possible. But, you'd have to be hauling ass. You'd have to be shitting in the car. So, to give everybody an idea, It's 14 hours from New Jersey to the Florida border. It's 14 hours. It's 2.5 hours in a fucking plane. I don't know. I'm prepared to take the action on that in 12 hours or under. I'm prepared to take the action on that. We're not going to do $1,000. We'll keep it friendly and keep it fun. Of course you stopped at the Pancake House. You have to stop at the Pancake House. Who doesn't stop at the Pancake House? We did 100 cruise control the entire way. All right. 1,000% we did the spring break national drive every year. Everybody's done the spring break run. Everybody's done the spring break run. But let's be real here, people. We're talking about Savage Cerakote doing the Kessel run. Well, the equivalent of it's the East Coast Kessel run. It's the East Coast spring break run. Anywhere south of Connecticut to Florida, anywhere warm in 12 hours. I would take the action on it. That's a crazy bet, but anything's possible. I kind of killed the lights in here in case people are wondering. It was getting it was bright in here. Listen, we're gonna close if you get me and him a class with Tony free, I can get you I can get 1 seat free probably. I'm not gonna ask Tony to give 2 seats free. What's up, John? It's Mike from Michigan. What's up, Mike? Mike from Michigan. Mike from Michigan. He'll come to me. Yeah. Mike from Michigan. Okay. Yeah, I try to keep it all together. But that is a crazy ride. Listen, we'll talk about it, Derek. Listen, 1 seat free can definitely happen. That's a favor I can ask a friend. 2 seats ain't gonna happen. And besides, both of you, what's up, Rob? We got Rob Ninkovich in the house, former Super Bowl champion. Congratulations to the former team, by the way. Rob, the question this is a good question for Rob, actually. He'd like to probably jump in on this. The question on the table is, can you drive he's a big car guy, so he'll like this. Can you drive from New Jersey to the border of Florida in 12 hours? It's 14 hours by Google Maps. And Rob's a huge car guy. I don't know. I think you'd have to be shitting in the car, to be quite honest with you. You'd have to be shitting and eating in the car. If you pack your meals, maybe, Derek. I don't know. I don't fucking know. That's bro, listen, we'll talk about it. We'll iron out the details of the bet. You don't have to get all weird in New Jersey on me. Pearl Harbor says no. Project Pearl Harbor says no. But that's a fucking crazy run. You know, Nico might have some input on it because he's probably done a couple New Orleans runs in there. But, you can't stop, Derek. That's tight, man. That's 14 hours. It's 14 and a half hours by Google Maps. You're going to shave 2.5 hours off, and you're not stopping to shit or eat? I mean, you're pretty much eating gas station food the whole way, and you got to be doing 100. We got all kinds of shit on the table. Franny, this is out of hand. This is completely out of hand. We're going to talk guns, but this is completely out of hand. You got to get Franny's input on this. So the question on the table is Savage Cerakote wants to bet me. Savage Cerakote wants to bet me that he can go from New Jersey to the border of Florida in 12 hours. In 12 hours. Flat. It's 14 hours by Google Maps. 14 and a half. I need input from people here. I can definitely get you a free training, a seat out of it, no doubt. But I don't know. And then the question that comes in, the question that comes into play, the issue here becomes documentation. You know, documentation of when you leave. I know you're in. Derek, I know you're in, and I know you're about to get all New Jersey on me. Shake on it, and we got to bet on it, blah, 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 blah. It's 14 and a half hours in Google Maps. 14 and a half. But what are you going to do? Shit and eat in the car? Usually by Google Maps, this is the standard, friend. And you know this is true. The standard usually is you can do it. He can turn his location on his phone. I'll accept that. You can do it on the time that Google Maps allows it with stops. With stops. Usually you can do that. You can do it. With stops. I'll believe that. Because if you stop, okay, I'll break it down for you. Because I want you to make a good bet, not a crazy bet. I'll break it down for you. It is 902 miles. You have to stop for gas at least twice. At least twice in that run. Full tanks. So let's say you leave with a full tank. You're at the starting line. Full tank. And you go. You're going to need at least 2 more full tanks of gas. You can't drive more than 4 hours without losing your mind. You'll have at least pissed once before you start. No drinking and hauling ass. Yeah, it's a minimum of 2 tanks of gas. Full. I'm talking about draining it all the way down. And nobody does that. Because you get to about a quarter and you got to stop. So it really might look like 3 tanks of gas. There's a couple of stretches there where you're going to have to stop where you can. And then you're gonna have to stop for a food and poop break. Or unless you pack all your food. If you're taking this really seriously, you're packing all your food. You're packing your eats. You're going to have to eat at least once to survive. Because you know why? You're driving, so you have to keep your wits about you. You're driving. Otherwise you'll lose your freaking mind. I'm willing to make the bet with Derek and I'll put some incentives on the line. You know, I'll put some skin in the game. I'll put skin in the game. You know, we'll do something like, Derek, get you a course, and we'll put like $100 in on it. You know what I mean? We can get input. We can get input here from some people. It's pretty crazy. Let's see. We can get some input. We're getting input from people here. It's a mini gumball rally. I don't know if it's a mini gumball rally. So we need some input.
All right.
It's 14 and a half hours by Google Maps.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about doing it in 12 hours flat. Now I want him to make a good bet. My contention is that you can do the 12 hours. Or you can do what Google Maps says it is, 14 and a half. That's with stops and everything else. But I don't know if he can shave 2.5 hours off and still stop for 2 to 3 tanks of gas. And he's got to eat, but he'd have to eat in the car.
Well, what kind of car is he driving, first of all? That'll give us an idea.
So we're going to write that down. We need to know what car it is. Let's take some notes here. What car are we talking about? What car? So, Derek, what car?
Is it a Prius?
It's at least 2. He goes, it's easy. So it's at least 2 tanks of gas. 2 tanks of gas. At minimum. Because it's 900 miles. Take your notes on this.
Yeah, because I have a G8. I can go about 460 to a full tank of gas. That's not getting into it. And it cost me $35 to fill up at least. I could take 2 tanks of gas to get all the way down to the bottom of Georgia. Like $60.
2 tanks.
So.
Bottom of Georgia. Yeah, I'm saying 3. Take a note on the miles per gallon highway on that too. That's a good point, Derek. We'll give you that. But here's the whole thing. 12 hours, your screen
totally went nuts.
He goes 800. Oh my God. He goes 800 miles. It'll come back. You can still hear me. He goes 800 miles to 1 tank. What the fuck?
What kind of car are you driving?
Yeah, what kind of fucking car is he driving?
Double tank or some propane tanks?
The Millennium Falcon? Is he driving with the gas tank hanging out of it, filling? So for everybody who's coming in here, the bet on the table right now is Derek from Savage Cerakote believes that he can do New Jersey to the border of Florida in 12 hours.
That's just not possible.
Google Maps has it at, well, Derek, either way, it's 2 tanks of gas. No matter how you fucking slice it. Google Maps has it at 14 and a half hours.
Yeah, but he also has to figure in he can't get busted by the cops though too, because once you hit South Carolina and North Carolina, their highway speed limits are strict. You go 1 mile over, you're screwed.
I don't give a fuck if he gets stopped. If he wants to be a hero, but I don't know that he can hit those numbers. All right, you gave us your input. I appreciate it. I think it makes sense. I'm going to get some other opinions and we'll get some other people chiming in, so I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for chiming in. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, boss.
Later. So there you have it. We got another opinion. So anyone else want to chime in on the Kessel run? The bet on the table is, can we go from New Jersey to the border of Florida in 12 hours? Google Maps has it at 14 and a half hours. Derek's claiming he can do it in his truck that takes 800 gallons of gas, 800 miles to a tank of gas, which I don't even know is possible unless he's driving a fucking Freightliner. Oh my God. This is amazing. This will be like the most amazing bet I've ever heard of in my life. I'm doing all... He's not a trucker, but he was a trucker. He's currently not a trucker, but he can drive. He's a driver. He's not a wheelman, but he's a driver. But the bet on the table is, can he make that run? First, I'm trying to figure out what's a reasonable estimation to shave off Google Maps. Like if Google Maps says it's an hour to go from X to Y, right? What can you shave off of that? Like what's realistic about shaving off of that? I mean, you're talking about shaving off 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. That's hauling, buddy. That's hauling. That's a full 100 miles you're shaving off this trip. That's hauling ass, bro. That's hauling ass. What a topic. Always with Derek. Always. We don't know what what are we betting? We don't know what the bet is yet. We don't have the bet's loosely going to be like one training in Tony's class, one person training in Tony's class. We'll put a little skin in it. We'll put like dinner in it or something. Dinner, no drinks. We don't do drinks too. Joe, the time he leaves will logically be overnight. That's the logical choice. So he'd have to, no matter what, Joe, he's going to have to do this under optimal circumstances. You'd have to do it under optimal circumstances. There's no question. That's beyond a shadow of a doubt. So let's take a minute break here. Everybody make sure you sign up for YouTube. Head over to YouTube, leave comments, tags. Please put some thumbs ups on the YouTube, guys. Everybody take a minute, leave some thumbs ups on the YouTube. I appreciate that. Everybody take a minute to head over to tap the hearts on here. Tap hearts and invite people in. Take a minute to tap hearts and take a minute to leave a review on iTunes if you haven't. The John Bartolo Show on iTunes. Take a minute, check out the website. Check out the website if you have a minute. I appreciate that. We're going to get into another topic in a minute. Derek might even like this other topic. We're going to get into the topic of, and I had some information. We got into it last night. We talked about a little bit about Joe Rogan and Alex Jones last night. A few people asked me my opinion. I guess this is really starting to bubble over. And it's really become like a funny feud. Yeah, it's there's a lot there. Definitely DC would be the the make or break, for sure, Joe. We've all done that run. We know what Washington can turn into. It's a black hole. You know, you can get caught in traffic there. So here's the deal. I have some opinions on the Alex Jones thing. I think it was a few guys asked me my opinion on it, and you know, and we talked a lot about it last night. And I just want to kind of put my final thoughts on it. So I think that Alex Jones is looking for a lot of attention, like we talked about. And I think he's looking for a lot of Joe's airplay. I think that's because he's suffering from a lack of airplay himself. He's been, you know, cast off almost every platform. So he's kind of lost as to like where his voice is, I guess, or his platform, for lack of better words. So, you know, I don't want this show to become, you know, like a reboot, but of you know, talking about past episodes for an extended period of time. But I think that Joe would just assume Alex gets some help or get, you know, his attention elsewhere. That would be my contention. That would probably be my belief. Just based on what I see. But who knows? Who knows how that'll shake out? Maybe it's staged. People talk about a lot of these fights being staged. You know, they talk about a lot of staging in all these fights. I just put a post up. I'm going to sign off from here and sign back on. I just put a post up. I'm going to give the rules, and we're going to give away a prize. So, I'm putting up the rules here. And I'm back really quick. So here's the rules for the contest. We'll give a pair of glasses away really quick. We're not going to make it like a big deal. I'm not going to make it a big deal. Go share one of my YouTube videos. Thumbs up. And go share one of my YouTube videos. Thumbs up. And comment done and tag a friend on my last post. And you will be eligible for the gargoyles. We'll give the gargoyles away. I got them sitting right here. Just didn't get to it last night. There was too much going on, and yeah, we can do that another night for sure. We'll do the tribute. We can do the tribute deal. Talk about that. Let's do that tomorrow. I'm trying to make this a quick one, and I'm already 30 minutes in. I want to try to keep this one to an hour. So why don't we plan on doing that? I normally don't go hot on Fridays, maybe on Saturday or Sunday, if not Monday. We'll reboot that one. So finishing up the Alex Jones, Joe Rogan deal, I think a lot of it comes down to disinformation. Yeah, no worries. It comes down to disinformation. I think Alex Jones put some stuff out there about Joe and about Joe's family, and I think a lot of that led to some angst and some bitterness. But I know they go back a while and they have a long friendship, and those things tend to work themselves out. And kind of like I've told you guys all along, with a lot of these kind of beefs, these podcast beefs or social media beefs or or anything in between. It doesn't have to be Saturday. More than likely, I won't go hot Saturday. Probably Sunday or Monday. There's a lot of disinformation that gets put out there. There's a lot of bullshit that gets put out there, and I think a lot of it is just more of the same. So I think it'll all eventually fizzle out. Or Joe seems like a pretty stand up guy. I don't think Joe. Joe's being disingenuous at all in his, and I think he means it. I think he wants Alex to figure it out, and I think Alex lacks a platform to speak from right now, so he's kind of scrambling. He's kind of freaking out and scrambling, and that tends to happen with guys. Yeah, Monday be fine. Monday be fine. Give you some time. Let you talk about it, let you get into it a little bit, and you can talk about it then. So that's kind of my take on the whole Alex Jones, Joe Rogan thing. But it was a really good question. I think it stems into a lot of the things, a lot of the angst, if you will, that you see on social and everything in between. I think that's just more of the same. I think it's just more of the same. But I think Joe just assumed Alex I hate to use the term get some help. But it's as sad as that sounds. I think that stems into a deeper conversation where the social media and the stuff like this. It becomes like a power struggle for attention for people in many ways. So if you're heading over to YouTube, I'm gonna head over there real quick and check and see how people are doing with this. But hopefully everybody is entering the contest. And everybody's good. And to everybody that's been reaching out about donating prizes and things like that, I don't touch the prizes for the most part. In a lot of these contests, I choose not to. So I choose not to. I'd rather not. So I'd rather not. As far as, let's see, the next topic, I had another question. Was a good question. Let's see. Let's try to get to my questions here. So another question that was a good question. It was, I answered that one. I try to write these all down, guys, and keep up with them. What keeps you, I guess this is talking about the gym, motivated to train as much as you do. So to answer that to the YouTubers and the podcasters, pretty slow tonight? No. Online, it's pretty slow online for sure. What keeps me motivated to train? I'm like everybody else. I go up and down with it. I've fallen in and out of favor with it. I've been training a long time. Somebody asked me in a previous podcast how long I've been training. I've been lifting weights, and I think Deemer and I were talking about this. I've been lifting weights and training since I was about 13 years old. So just like anybody else, in 24, 25 years of doing it, it just goes up and down with me. It goes up and down in terms of like my focus or my willingness. Don't dude me. My focus or my willingness to want to train like at a high level. So to answer the guys on YouTube, training, if you can train consistently in anything, that's great. If you can do the gym, jiu-jitsu, whatever it is you're doing, all of those are good things. And that leads into me always telling you guys, create a schedule that works for you. Keep a schedule that works. If you can only train 2 days a week, train 2 days a week. Too many people get overwhelmed. They want to train 6, 7, 8, 9 times a week. It's not going to work. More than likely, you're going to quit. Your body's going to get too sore. You're not going to be able to keep up with it. Unless you're dieting, taking in water, and eating, and you're in optimal condition, you cannot train on that level every day of the week. It's very hard. It's super hard. I train very hard when I do train. I wouldn't say extremely hard. I wouldn't say Tony level. I say very hard. And it's very hard to train at that high level. People are tired, people are run down. You got to make sure your body gets rest and is able to participate in the training in an active and constructive way. I recommend at least 2 to 3 times a week, and that's like the bare minimum. So that's the bare minimum, in my opinion, that you should get in. So hopefully that answers that. The next one was, people asked me what made me choose Jiu-Jitsu. That's an easy one. I had a bet with Ruben on it, and I bet with Ruben that I would do Jiu-Jitsu. So I made a promise to a friend that I would get into it. So I did. I got into it, and progressed what I thought was, pretty quickly at a pretty standard pace. I thought, any of those martial arts you're going to train are going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of work. You're going to put time in. If you're not putting in at least 2 days a week, 3 days a week, it's not, it's not easy. So, it's a good amount of work to put in, but it's worth it in the end if you can put the time in. So hopefully that answers. And I'm fielding, questions, whether it's from YouTube, podcasts, or questions I get DM'd or sent. And I wanted to get through these and get through as many of them as I could, because I feel like I'm neglecting the people when I don't answer them. So I like to get to them and get them all wrapped up. So to enter the contest tonight, it's really simple. I know it's a slow night tonight. It's really simple. And if we don't get enough participants, I'll just keep rolling it into the next contest. Just follow the rules below, and we'll give it away. As far as a quick update on, will you be at Arnold? I've pretty much almost made a decision that I won't be at Arnold. A few people have asked me. I won't be at Arnold. I was going to try to go. A lot of the companies I work with don't go, just to put it out there and be clear. It's hard when your companies don't go. I don't go anymore. Anymore just to go. I would love to get there this year. I just not in the cards. It just might not be in the cards. Tony, I know, is having a booth there. I have some friends going. It's a great show. It's a great time. It really sneaks up on you this year. It's February 28th. It's just soon. It just creeps. Coming off a SHOT Show, I've been sick. It's the 7th already, so I'd have to basically be out of here in 20 days. We'll see what happens. I'll probably make a good and final decision over the weekend on it, but it's just tough. And then I got to roll into NRA, and for years, guys, I've done all those shows. It just gets increasingly difficult to kind of water all those different streams, so it gets difficult. But I hope everybody understands, I've been going to all those shows for years. Every 3 or 4 years, I tend to have like that natural year off, and I'm pretty much chalking this up after 5 years of going as potentially one of those just years off. This was a long run for me going, and it was great. Don't get me wrong, it was great. But it is nice to have some time off, and it is nice to get a little bit of a break from going. Anybody who's been to trade shows can be very exhausting, very tiresome. Sorry. It is what it is. It's nice to have a little time off. It's nice to have time off from them. The other question I have, but I will be at NRA. It will be an NRA. The other question I have, you mentioned SHOT Show. Did you get a chance to visit? It's asking me. I believe this is asking me if I got a chance to visit any exciting booths. I believe that's what it is. Did I get a chance to visit any exciting booths? Of course I visited exciting booths. I visited a lot of fun booths. I had a great time. I don't know if exciting comes to mind with SHOT Show. And I think that's kind of one of the things SHOT Show is lacking, is like that exciting, I don't think it's that exciting. I certainly wouldn't put like SHOT Show and exciting in the same breath. Two different animals there. I think it might be exciting to first timers. If you go the first time, I think Frenny did it right. Frenny went to the NRA show first, and I think that's doing it right. That's doing it right. I would definitely err on that side and say that's probably a better approach to take. Here's another question coming in. What did you think of the State of the Union? Oh, I got asked this last night. I answered this last night. I don't want to keep, answering questions I get, over and over and over again, same kind of stuff. State of the Union was good. I thought Trump looked very presidential. I thought he did a great job presenting himself. I think that was some of the feedback too. That was some of the feedback by some of the pundits out there and some of the people. I don't watch a lot of the talking head news type stuff, but I did kind of peek around and pay attention to kind of what people said out there, and I thought some of the feedback was very good. I thought he did a really good job just kind of presenting himself and presenting his case, and where he was weak, he looked strong, and where he was, kind of always historically, came off a little as inept. He looked strong, and I agree. I forget who it was. Maybe one of these guys. Somebody said it. But I'll say it. I think he's got to, maybe when you have a win, kind of pull back and retract a little bit. It's when people keep pushing, they keep Pac-Manning the win. I hope he doesn't, make some comment on Twitter or do something like that. I'm not being critical of him. I think he's awesome because he's real. But I hope he just kind of sits back and kind of lets this one kind of soak in for a minute. I think some of the stuff he's putting out there is really, really good, and he's doing a good job, and he's winning people on his side. He's moving a little bit to that middle, which is critical when you want to win a second election. You have to kind of move to that middle a little bit and appeal to everybody. And I think what's happening in Virginia is going to be a total win for him. I think he's gonna do well there. Virginia was a highly contested state when he ran. I think he's gonna benefit from some of this backlash, and I think he'll do okay. I think he'll come out okay. But that's what I have to say about the State of the Union. I don't want to go too deep into the State of the Union because I don't want to make it about the State of the Union and politics, and everybody knows. I don't get into it. I don't like to get into it. He looked good. That's all. That's not really a question. Let's see what else. Let's see. Any other questions? It is a little bit of a quiet night. It might be too quiet to do a giveaway, but we'll see. Let's see. I'll take one more question because it is kind of quiet tonight, and we'll leave it at that. Let's see. Here's a good one. There's a few in here that are like iffy. So I think this question's asking me if, well, I guess the best way for me to answer this question is asking me from a listener and saying, do I feel that we shouldn't fight the fight against bump stocks, which I'm paraphrasing because it's long here. And that's what I talked about last night. What's up? I don't think that we should not fight the fight against bump stocks. I just was saying the other night that I'm not sure that's the hill we want to die on. You have to look at, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. You have to look at the energy that you expend and the energy that you put out the best way to look at it is bandwidth, right? So look at what you expend in bandwidth, in personal bandwidth. So if I get into a fight with somebody, you pick your battles, right? You pick the battle that you want to fight. You know, like what's this fight going to be about? You know, what are we going to argue about? What's the battle? And you only have so much bandwidth, you know, to fight the fight. And what I was saying about bump stocks and what I was addressing about bump stocks is I just think politically that's not the place to die. You know, the hill to die on. Battling. I think they make rifles look ugly. I think they're not that exciting. I do not blame them at all for, you know, a madman, you know, going to the top of a hotel and doing what he did. I certainly don't. There's a million other factors. There's a million other factors there. We all know that. You know that. Everybody knows that. So people who stand up and say, well, they were responsible for X amount of deaths. They were not responsible for X amount of deaths. A madman was responsible for X amount of deaths. Let's start there. But as far as bump stocks go, I'm just not sure that's the political hill to fight the fight, you know. That's all. That's all. Pretty simple. Pretty simple take. I don't look at it as anything more, anything less. Hopefully everybody understands that. I'm not mitigating it. I think sometimes people ask this question, and I don't know if this, I'm not going to give this person that much shit. I don't think that that's how they're asking it. I think, because I get some of the real, you know, right-wing guys here that get mad, you know, they want me to like defend everything. It's not that I don't defend the position. It's not it. It's not it at all. It's actually quite the opposite. So hopefully everybody understands that. It's actually quite the opposite. So yeah, that's that question. So it has been a quiet night, Blake, and Pew Pew and a lot of you guys mentioned it's quiet tonight. So with that being said, with it being quiet, a few things. We'll get to some housekeeping items. Let me put this out there. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody who's participated the last week in supporting and helping and growing the podcast and pushing the podcast out there. It means a lot. It means a lot. Thank you guys. To everybody who's left reviews, to everybody who continuously leaves reviews, to everyone who goes to Podbean and downloads, to all the folks that take a minute to watch some of the stuff, to everybody out there that takes a minute to do all that stuff, thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you all taking the time. It doesn't go unnoticed. To the sponsors, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'll give you a chance to talk about your deal a little bit, and it's I believe it's a foundation, or yeah, it's a foundation you got going on. Foundations are tricky. Foundations are really tricky. I get a lot of guys. You know, it's funny. That's a good topic to end on. I get a lot of guys that hit me up about foundations, and Suresh was talking about this in the first deal. The problem with foundations, you know, everybody likes to get involved in a foundation in this business, and they're tough, you know. And because of some of my friendships and everything, people are like, oh, can you get this one behind it and that one behind it and everybody else? Thank you, Blake. It's really hard to do it. It's really hard. It's not because people don't love supporting things. It's actually quite the opposite. People love supporting things, so they want to be all inclusive. But the problem is with a lot of the foundations, and we've seen this with like Wounded Warrior and with all these different things, is they become super hard to support and they become super hard to get behind. Not for me, but for a lot of like, you know, high-ranking people, you know, You know, Suresh, we talked about it in the first podcast, so I'll talk about it. I had a guy look me dead in the eye and tell me he wanted to meet with the president about getting some support behind a foundation, and I was like, you know, you don't see those guys get behind a lot of that stuff because they can't. They can't. You know what I mean? They can't do it. They can't do it. It's not going to be in the cards for them. They're not going to hitch their name to some. They don't know how the books are cooked, and they don't know what goes on behind the scenes with it. So it's very hard for them to get behind that stuff, and you have to respect that. It's hard. It doesn't mean I don't want to give some air cover to it, but I do get people that ask me crazy questions. People have seen it. So it's not that I don't support it, but I coming back to thanking everybody, I do really appreciate everybody's support and everybody's help. And tonight being a quiet night, it's a good night for me to bring that up. You know? No, yeah, I mean, I hear you. I'm not a foundation. I just do what I do because that's how my grandfather raised me. Yeah, no, that's great. That's phenomenal. No, it's good. I mean, I've met and I've sat with all of them, with every one you can think of. I mean, in my 8 years, 10 years in this business, I've probably sat with a dozen high-profile different foundations through the years. But yeah, everybody has their deal. So hopefully everybody has a great week. So as far as the schedule goes, I will try to get live between now and Sunday. I usually try to do some level of a weekend edition. Usually Thursday, Friday nights it starts to quiet down. It's obviously pretty quiet tonight, which is nice. It's nice to have a quiet night, catch up on a lot of housekeeping stuff. You know, it's Thursday the 7th of February, and you know we got some downtime in here. But I want to thank everybody. I want to continuously thank everybody for their support. It's been a great 2-week run with this. Whoever's left in here, whoever listens, whoever takes the time to listen to this, please take a minute, download an episode, share an episode, push an episode out there. It means a lot. It means a lot. So to everybody out there who takes a minute, you know, please, it means a lot. Share, push this stuff out there. If you want to see more, you want me to do more, you want me to do more giveaways, support it. Get behind it. Any way that you can. Thank you guys. Yep. Share a YouTube or two. Push a few of them out there. You know, take a minute. That's why I have you guys on. You know, have you on to support and get your you know, your words in, get your mission out there a little bit. You know, this gets streamed on everything, and it lives forever. So push it out there. Any way I can help, I'm always willing to help. Anybody who knows me knows that. So if you guys have something, this show's, you know, a great platform to bring a lot of that stuff up. But hopefully it does make sense to a lot of you. And I hope everybody has a great week. So to all the different folks that have participated, thank you very much. It means the world. It genuinely does. I can't thank you guys enough. I was stunned to see my stuff out there. Am I going to watch the UFC fight, Blake? I'm sure my girlfriend will want to. And for those of you that don't know, she is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. She is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. So, more than likely, I'll give it a peek. More than likely. So, have a safe and great weekend. Enjoy. Yeah, no, everybody. I mean, I hope everybody, has a great week. Hope everybody enjoys themselves. So enjoy, and I hope everybody has an awesome weekend. But I'm going to close out. I'm going to thank the sponsors, Riton Optics, Kenzies Optics, Taurus. Of course, Taurus, thank you very much. Big thank you, of course, to Crossbreed Holsters and everybody else. I hope everyone has a great week. If I see some activity while I'm signed off, my last post, everything, we'll give the gargoyles away. We'll do that. But hopefully everyone has a great week. Hopefully everyone has a good weekend. Hopefully I answered all your questions. And I'll talk to you guys soon.